Well, hello, and welcome to the PJH Writing Command Center for another podcast episode from God Bless the Keg Publishing, LLC. And here we are. I've got the world famous Frankie T today, so we're really excited about that. I've got his mic muted so he can't interrupt me right now. Anyway, welcome to the PJH Writing Command Center. I am Paul John Hausleben. I'm the flagship author, chief photographer, music reviewer, music critic, do everything guy here at God Bless the Keg Publishing with a little help from my friends. Frank loves the friends, and Frankie T is here with the friends, so we're having a great time here today, and we're thrilled you're joining us. If you are a first-time tuner-inner, then welcome. If you are a long-time listener or a subscriber, then welcome back. And like I said, we're thrilled you're here to join us today. And we have the world-famous Frankie T here today, and we're excited because we're going to talk some NHL hockey, and the subject today is all-time great hockey teams. And I picked first team, second team. Frank, he's got first and second and some alternates, and that's good. Players we've seen now. This is players that we have seen and watched in our hockey watching career, right? Not in my playing career. I played against the Mullen brothers. Did you know that? Yeah. But at any rate, that's another story for another podcast. So before we get started, and Frank and I were commenting, I have this great quote from Charles Dickens. This week was crazy here in Central Virginia. I'm going to unmute Frank's mic here so he can comment, right? It was crazy, right, Frank?
Weather was insane. I was saying the other day, I started out the day at 7 o'clock in the morning walking my dogs in shorts and a T-shirt. It was close to 70 degrees.
Yep. 6
hours later, we had an inch of snow on the ground.
Yeah, it was crazy. So Charles Dickens' Great Expectations. As you know, Dickens, my favorite author. It was one of those March days when the sun shines hot and the wind blows cold, when it is summer in the light and winter in the shade. Is that
a great quote?
Is that unbelievable?
That's a great quote.
Yeah. So, at any rate, that's what came to mind. My goodness, yeah. The one day it was 86, and then it was snowing.
The day before was 86. Yeah, it was insane.
Any rate, so we get a little Orphan Annie decoder pins out from A Christmas Story. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Corporate Facilities Group Incorporated, the leader in technical consulting, facilities maintenance, and operations, as well as property maintenance and management services throughout America. And now CFG Incorporated is proud to announce a new department, a new initiative, headed up by the amazing Mr. Steve McMillan. So let's give it up for old Steve Aruski. Steve brings as many years of experience as he manages pre-construction services and estimating for residential development, residential renovations, and light commercial projects for CFG Incorporated. So, before you spend big bucks on a project, let old Steve Aruski check out the contractor scope and price to make sure your hard-earned money is going in exactly the right place. Check them out on the web at www.corporatefacilitiesgroup1.com. That's www.corporatefacilitiesgroup1.com. Many thanks to Steve, Lydia, Liliana, Summer the dog, Smokey the kitty cat for sponsoring the podcast. They're down there in beautiful Marietta, Georgia. Have you ever been to Marietta, Frank?
No, I haven't. My wife lived there for a couple years.
So she probably told you about the famous Marietta Square. It's in the center of the town. It is fantastic. It's beautiful. It's got a gazebo there and these old Georgia oaks. And they have these concerts in the village center there, and there happens to be an Irish pub there. Of course, I found that. Highly recommend. Beautiful Marietta, Georgia. So I have a charity to announce, and if you have a charity function, a goodwill event, something you'd like us to mention on the podcast, be sure to send it in to us at God Bless the Keg Publishing @gmail.com. And this one, Frank, I met this young lady who came to the building. I was working the lobby, and Frank and I worked together for many years. And I was out in the lobby, and this gal came, and she signed in, and I asked her, what the nature of the business, and she told me all about. She was meeting with the tenant about charity. And so I was interested. So I said, what's it about? And it's called Girls on the Run. And she was a lovely young lady, and I talked to her about the charity. And I decided, I didn't even tell her I was going to mention this, but I looked it up today, and it's Girls on the Run has fun, evidence-based programs that inspire participants to recognize their inner strength, increase their level of physical activity, imagine their possibilities, and stand up for themselves and others. This is for girls. Girls on the Run offers programs designed to inspire girls of all abilities to recognize and embrace their inner strength and make meaningful connections with others. Trained coaches use physical activity and dynamic discussions to build social, emotional, and physical skills while encouraging healthy habits for life. In today's unpredictable world, and it certainly is unpredictable, the strategies learned at Girls on the Run are more important than ever. Girls on the Run has a long-standing and unwavering commitment to building a world where every girl can know and activate their limitless potential. From coast to coast, Girls on the Run is dedicated to inclusion, diversity, equity, and access at all levels of the organization. And I think the friends like that, right? Yeah! Check them out. You can go to www.gotrrichmond.org for Central Virginia Girls on the Run. So I thought that was a great organization, and we give it a little pitch here. So Frank, welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, and it's been an exciting week sort of getting ready for this. My wife has been watching me at night while she's watching TV or scrolling through her Insta page or whatever, and I'd be sitting there on my tablet looking up stats and comparing players, and she's like, "You're putting so much time into this."
It's harder than you think, right?
It was surprising on a couple of people.
Yeah, and if you tuned into the previous, Frankie T made his debut appearance on the podcast and did the 5 best studio albums that no one ever heard of, and it was a big hit. Oh. You got a lot of downloads.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You only got 1 thumbs down.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, I'll try and do better this time.
No, there's, on the big YouTube, the podcasts go out on different, marketing sites and different sites to listen to, and YouTube is one of them. And YouTube is strange because it doesn't kind of attach to the main podcast. It's weird. But anyway, I swear there's someone who goes through YouTube and just down thumbs things without even listening to it. So, and I've told this story 1,000 times, but I still love it because when you're a creator, you're an author, you're an artist, musician, whatever, you're always going to be subject to someone criticizing. So in my traveling days in Florida, I think it was in West Palm Beach, there was a joint I would like to go after work, have a few drinks, have a meal when I was on the road. And it's sort of like the Toast over here that we go to. Yeah. And it's very popular. I mean, people wait out, online, and it's just a big popular spot. And the food's good. The prices are good. And the owner put a banner up. It said 498 5-star reviews, 1 1-star review. So, that's what you're always going to get with people. So, at any rate,
I gotta say, I grew up as the youngest child, and I had an older brother, so I'm very well adjusted. I always grew up with knowing someone out there hated me.
Yeah, right? Well, I was a goalie, so everybody loved me until I made a save. Then they hated me, right? If they were shooting on me.
Or your teammates if you let one in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What was the famous quote, Jacques Plante?
Oh, I don't know.
He said, how would you like, and this is back in the old days when they had goal judges.
Yeah.
How would you like to have a job where if you make a mistake, 20,000 people boo you and they turn a light on? So, anyway, like I said, we are doing our all-time NHL teams at all the positions based upon players that we have seen. And I kind of think, so when did you start watching hockey approximately?
Early 70s.
Early 70s.
So I came in the old Peter Puck on NBC.
Oh, yeah, Peter Puck.
Remember NBC Saturdays?
Yeah, that was fantastic. And so 74?
72.
72. Okay.
Like I was 12 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was probably, I'm going to say right around 1970. I'm going to guess.
Yeah. And that got me into reading about the history of hockey.
Right.
And my parents were both from New York, and they both loved hockey. And at that point in time, Montreal was in the middle of one of their many dynasty phases.
Yep.
And so I sort of hooked on to Montreal as my favorite. I really got into the Montreal history, Maurice Richard, Jean Bellevue, although Jean Bellevue was probably still playing a little bit in the early 70s, but really got into the Jacques Plante. So I read a lot of history and it really got me into hockey, and I love it.
Yeah. I would say 1970. I mean, I remember, we started on the street and all that, and I've told those stories, but WOR Channel 9 in New York metro area, New York, Jersey, and North Jersey and Connecticut, that part of Fairfield County, would be WOR Channel 9. And it had the Ranger games. And of course, there was no Devils, there were no Islanders. Right. So, and I have my original 6 t-shirt on today that Frank bought me for Christmas. So, and I had a Hartford Whalers hat on here, but before I put my headphones on. But at any rate, WOR, and the announcers were Jim Gordon and Bill the Big Whistle Chadwick, who was the referee who actually, he's in the Hall of Fame. He was the referee who invented hand signals, the big whistle, yeah. And he was a New York City guy who actually became a pioneer referee in the National Hockey League. He was a player and lost sight in one eye because of a puck, so he turned to referee. And considered, right up there with the Andy Von Hellemans. But how is a one-eye ref end up in the Hall of Fame?
That's the tool you need.
Right? Yeah, I mean, we always accused the ref of not being able to see. But Chadwick was so well-respected and so tough, I don't think anybody would take him on. And he was legendary on the broadcast, fantastic. And on radio, it was Marvelous Marv Albert and Sal Red Light Messina, who was a goalie like me, laboring in some semi-pro leagues and such. But he was great. They were great on the radio. And this year, I've been listening to the Rangers broadcasts on radio. I don't really have a go-to hockey team these days, but I've been enjoying the Rangers because I love goaltending. And of course, with Shazurk in there, they have a fella on radio, Dave Starman, who took over for Maloney, who moved over to TV. Okay. And I love Dave Starman. He's an old college goalie, the University of Hartford. And that's actually where my son went to school.
You have a love of Hartford.
And he just is so good at analyzing goaltending. And right before the opening face-off, he has a little segment where he compares the starting goalies. And I just love listening to this guy. So, Dave Starman, if you happen to tune into this podcast, I'm going to tag you in this one. Thumbs up, you've done a great job. So, anyway, so here we go. So, Frank, do you want? I'm going to go first, if that's okay.
Fine.
I'm going to go first with my first team, and then you can go with yours. And I know you got a lot of alternates. So I think we might be just a little era apart in you tuning in a little later on hockey than I did. We're not far apart in age, but whatever. So I separated left defense and right defense.
So we're going with defenseman.
I'm going to start with defense. Okay. I'm going to go defense, center, right wing, left wing, goalie.
Okay.
And the reason that I really researched as to a left-handed and a right-handed shot is probably because I'm an old goalie. The way a shooter or a puck handler approaches you as a goaltender is really important for your positioning. It's important for how you square up to the shooter. It's important how you keep your hips aligned. It's important on the sight lines for the puck, if you're going to get screened or not. So you got to prevent me from going into a modern goalie rant, but I will.
We'll get there.
I guarantee you I will. But at any rate, so on left defense, of course, it's Bobby Orr. And how he revolutionized with the 100 points and all the things that he did is just the pioneer, the ultimate pioneer in the National Hockey League, changing the way defense was looked upon. Up until then, they used the straight blades, and they just were considered defensemen. You know, they didn't come up and pinch. Nonetheless, do end-to-end rushes and score. You know, so unfortunately, bad knees, operations, kind of short career, but the impact is monumental.
On his career, 12 seasons, but he only played 657
Correct.
regular season games. That's a short career.
Short career, yeah. Too many injuries, a lot of knee problems. And, you know, I marvel at the modern commentary on, especially on social media. I follow some hockey pages, and I'm going to beat on the modern fan. One fan was criticizing and watching clips from, I believe it was from the 70s. And they were saying that these skaters look like they're skating in quicksand. now, without getting technical, but because I'm an electronic guy, the frames per second on old broadcasts are different.
Oh.
In how the broadcast was done technically. So when you view it on modern screens, it's slower.
Okay.
So believe me, I saw Bobby Orr skate. He's not slow.
No.
And he's skating on these old skates. Can you imagine if he had the
probably
high technology?
double the weight.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
The pads are heavier, the stick's heavier.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, the guy would have been lightning.
Yeah.
So Bobby Orr is my left defense. Now, here's where I got into how important it is for a goaltender to understand how a guy shoots from what side, because it's more common to have lefty defensemen. So right defense is Al McGinnis. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So Flames, of course, I think he was drafted by the Flames, played with the Blues, and the slap shot of hell. There is a slap shot. Now, Al McGinnis made it to the NHL for one reason, because of his slap shot.
Okay. And
he told the story that he would play ball hockey in the summer, and his dad would cut pucks out of wood, and he'd beat him against the barn to get his perfect, approach to the puck and the launch and all the things he needed to do. But his slap shot is just unreal. I looked at clips this week, and he hit Mike Liu dead on in the mask and split his mask right in half.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And Liu, he didn't get up from that either. There's a all-star game with Kelly Rudy in the net, mm-hmm. and McGinnis lines up, and the shot went high, and Rudy wanted no part of it. He just bailed. He just hit the ice, and it hit the glass and shattered the glass in back of the net. It was more than a cannon. It was a weapon. There was another clip where and I can relate to this because of my broken pinky, that I misplayed a slap shot, and we didn't have that fancy equipment, and a catching glove the size of Montana, and he broke the guy's fingers, the goalie's fingers right through, because he caught it on the soft part of the glove. So tremendous weapon. The slap shot was unbelievable. He would win the slap shot competition, 101, 102. And he's using wooden sticks. Yeah. He refused, at the end of his career, the graphite and everything came in, he refused to use it, even though it would add a little power to his shot. He was like, no, I'm sticking with what I know. Now, Al McGinnis, Hockey Hall of Fame, but he was a terrible skater when he got to they called him choppy. He couldn't skate worth a hill of beans, but he became and worked hard at it, and just a tremendous weapon. But now, when you have a right-handed shot that can cannonball your body in half as a goalie, you're going to approach this a different way, because he could glide in and move that shot more towards the upper slot to line it up. And when he's in the upper slot, not being right at the point, he can pick short side, he can pick long side, he can pick high, he can pick the high on the stick side. So this is a weapon. Al McGinnis, just a weapon. So that's my right defenseman. At center is Wayne Gretzky, of course. And The thing about Gretzky that I always love, and you could say he's another pioneer too, right? Using the net, going behind the net and using that kind of as a offensive lineman to block for him, and defense can't get to him and all that. He tested so low in agility and strength, and he was not like a physical marvel as an athlete, but his peripheral vision was almost eyesight in back of his head.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think, the passing ability was just absolutely amazing.
I mean, no one will ever touch his assists.
No,
No one
never,
come
never.
anywhere close.
No. And what was the stat you said before?
With
About
Gretzky?
averaging over his career?
Oh, yeah. Gretzky averaged 2 points, just over 2 points a game.
That's incredible.
It's stunning.
That's stunning.
He had
Yeah, it really is.
1,487 games, regular games played, 2,857 points.
That's incredible.
He had a plus minus of plus 520.
That's incredible.
It's stunning. Absolutely stunning.
And he came in at WHA at the Indianapolis Racers, and which I don't think they ever even played a game. And then Peter Pocklington bought him from Indianapolis when he got Edmonton, and of course, so you're looking at stats that don't include WHA because they never merged the WHA with the NHL, which they should, and I hope they do someday. But and Gretzky was always, people say, oh, he's not a good skater. I remember it was the Islanders, the famous drive for five, right? And it was coming down Edmonton versus the Islanders, this legendary hockey club that had won all these Stanley Cups in a row. And the Islanders had a speedy offensive player. I don't remember if he played center or wing. His name was Bobby Bourne. And Bourne got a head start on a puck out of the zone, maybe 10-foot head start. And the only one that could catch him, the defenseman had pinched, was Gretzky. This Bobby Bourne was considered the fastest skater in the NHL at the time, and Gretzky caught him.
Like Darryl Green running down Tony Dorsett.
Absolutely. It's a great analogy. Same thing. So this supposed guy who couldn't skate, he could skate. And he caught Bobby Bourne, even though Bourne had the head start on him. So tremendous.
Look, I saw many games with Gretzky on TV. He could fly. He could weave.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just such... so if anyone says he's not a good skater, they never watched him.
Yeah, and not a good athlete. I don't know about that either. So,
let me go. Gretzky, 4 cups, 10 Art Ross trophies for the most points, 2 Conn Smythes for the MVP, 9 Harts for MVP, 5 Lady Byng Awards for the most, the best player.
Nice guy.
Yeah, the most nice guy. And then 5-10 Lindsay, which is an alternate MVP. I mean, I'm not even, when I go through mine, I'm not even going to put him on there because, he's
the guy,
so far beyond. I'm just going to focus on the others.
Yeah. And I always marvel how he could tuck that jersey into his pants and it would never come out during the game. My equipment goal, but it was always falling off of me. I was always fiddling with my laces. So we're going to return to Gretzky because so at right wing, of course, is Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe, and
you saw him play?
I did, yeah.
Oh wow,
yeah. So Gordie Howe fit in 1980. He finished with the Whalers.
I keep forgetting that he played for like 40 years.
He played forever. I mean, you talk about a great athlete. They talk about Brady and George Blanda and some of these guys that played forever, but they seem to forget Gordie Howe played like forever.
Yeah. He really did. Had about a 30-year career.
Yeah, and he signed some minor league contract to take a shift, so he was like in 6 decades.
Yeah.
And he actually had a shot on net. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Mr. Hockey. So as great as Gretzky is, and all the stats and everything, Mr. Hockey's the greatest hockey player of all time. That's my opinion. If you look at the whole package, the toughness, the muscle, the abilities to get the puck out of the corner, of course, the goals, and just a leader of the ultimate original 6 teams.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Gordie Howe. You could say he had Terry Sawchuk in goal, Jacques Plante and all that. But when you thought of hockey, It's Mr. Hockey.
Well, they named a special hat trick after him.
Yeah, the Gordie Howe, huh? Yeah, the Gordie Howe hat
What is it?
trick.
A goal, assist,
And a fight. Yeah, which I believe he only did 2 times or 3 times in his career. My favorite Gordie Howe story, though, is he takes a butt end to the lip and he goes back to get stitched. And he says to the doc, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I want to get back for the next shift. And the doctor's stitching him up. And he says to the doctor as he grabs his stick in there, he says, oh, don't put your stitching kit away because the guy who did this, he's going to be in here in 15 minutes. But I saw how, kind of at the end of the career, I saw him quite a bit with Hartford when he played with his 2 boys. And there's a great clip on Sirius Radio of him scoring the last NHL goal when the Whalers came back to the NHL. And he scored it at the Montreal Forum.
Oh, wow.
And they give him a standing ovation, and he scored it with his boys on the ice. So
How special.
Yeah. But I mean, even in his last year, I believe he scored 21 or 20 goals.
Are you kidding?
No.
That's insane.
No, it is. It's insane.
He should be applying for Social Security.
Yeah. So Gordie Howe's my right wing, and I know you love your Capitals.
Mm-hmm.
And my dream is that we get the time stone from Thanos and I can turn back time, because one of the things I'll do in the NHL is I want Tom Wilson to go into the corner and lip off at Gordie Howe. And I want to see that deadly elbow take Tom Wilson's face apart.
Tom Wilson gets a bad rap.
He's a good-looking guy, too.
He's a good-looking guy. He's an underappreciated scorer. And
He is.
He is, I mean, I've never seen him lose a fight.
No, but he would lose to Gordie Howe. Those elbows were like razor blades. And did you ever see the picture of Gordie Howe fishing in the off-season?
What, with hand grenades?
With his shirt off?
No.
Check that out. This guy was jacked. And, he wasn't a weightlifter or anything. It's just they worked other jobs. He's a prairie boy. He probably went back to the farm.
Baled hay.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby Hull, too. These guys were just naturally. Tim Horton, too.
Oh, okay.
These guys were beasts. So left wing is Bobby Hull, the Golden Jet. And you had mentioned that you didn't really remember Bobby Hull too much. And here's another guy who could just skate. He could just skate. They called him the Golden Jet. He had all the fancy blonde hair and all that.
He was, he had that flow going.
The Guy Lafleur thing going. And my gosh, what a powerful shot. What a powerful skater. What a powerful, on the left wing, he just was a force. And once more, like Howe too, and Gretzky to a certain extent, the WHA things are not included in the stats.
Right.
And of course, Hull went over to the WHA after contract disputes and they weighed money and all that. So his stats, I believe, he was like 3rd at the time. But if he included the WHA, he's got tremendous amount of goals. So Bobby Hull, the Golden Jet, is my left wing. And in goal, I'm sure there's no surprise for you that it's Bernie Parent. So, Bernard Marcel Parent. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you've been looking at some clips of Bernie and appreciate much more of his talent.
When he passed
right
a few months ago, I went in and looked at a few clips, and it reopened my eyes on him.
Right.
I hate to say this. I did not like him because I didn't like any of the Flyers. I didn't like the Broad Street Bullies. But you have to appreciate.
Fabulous. For me as a goalie, the stand-up thing, and I'm gonna resist the rant. But a young fella commented about, he was looking at clips. I think it was the Flyers when they played the Atlanta Flames to move into the Stanley Cup final. And I think the goalie was Phil Meir for the Flames. Might have been his backup. But his shot was low along the ice, and Phil Meir should have gotten it, and he didn't. And the young fellow commented and said, all these stand-up goalies couldn't stop pucks along the ice. And I couldn't resist jumping in and say, well, unless you're Bernie Parent, Ken Dryden, Vlad Tretiak, Eddie Jockerman. Yeah. Come on. And I mentioned about Al McGinnis and how he could maneuver. And Bernie Parent, if you study his technical ability as a pure stand-up goalie. And Bernie went down. He would keep one leg bent. And I know as a goalie, that helped me square up when these guys would pivot their hips to shoot. And that one leg bent and that stick, because you are vulnerable, stick side low, right above your maybe 3-4 inches at the top of your skate boot.
Okay.
Is a tough spot for a stand-up goalie to stop because you got to move in that way. You know, you got to have the angle down. And Perrant was a master at it. 1-0, Boston Bruins, Flyers for the Stanley Cup, 7th game. Here comes Ken Hodge down the right wing, open lane, and it's 3 minutes left in the game. And he uncorks a blistering slap shot, headed for the low stick side corner. And the save that Perrant makes is just amazing. It's a kick save. And like I mentioned, he was such a master at steering the puck into the corner, out of danger, in one fluid motion.
The rebound was
away,
back into the left.
Whereas with these modern goalies, when you're flopped down like a beach whale and you make a save, the rebound is right there.
Yeah.
No, not with Bernie Perrant, that rebound. And if you watch the clip after he makes this great save, his center iceman has come back and picked that puck up already and now making a counterattack. Yeah. So Bernie Perrant in a class by himself, shortened career because of the eye injury, but he's my goalie hero. And I'll tell you a quick story. There was Bernie Perrant's daughter is active on social media, and she wanted to, people after her dad died, put memories of Bernie Perrant. So I messaged her and sent her a clip from one of my books about an interaction I had with Bernie Perrant at Madison Square Garden. And she answered me, and we bantered back for quite a bit. She's a lovely gal, and she thanked me for sharing that. So there's my first team. Frank, it's all yours.
Oh, I'm doing first team too?
Yeah, do your first team.
I will do first team. I'll start with the defense. I didn't differentiate left and right because I hate to say this, I never really paid that much attention to who plays left and right. And they don't have stats that lifts. You look them up.
Correct.
They don't put left and right.
And that's purely from a goalie perspective that I had to do that.
So defense, I'm going, my number one is Larry Robinson.
Okay.
Larry Robinson was 6'4", 225. He was a huge guy. Great offensive skater. Kenny Dryden, who was his goalie, says he was the best defenseman he's ever played with or seen. Just some stats. 1,384 regular games played. He had 958 points. He had a plus 722
That's
career.
Unbelievable.
Plus 722. It's the highest one I've seen.
That's unbelievable.
Doing these research. 6 Stanley Cups, 1 Conn Smythe. Defenseman winning a Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
It's not unheard of, but it is unusual.
Right. It's like Glenn Hall won the Conn Smythe for a losing team.
Yeah.
When he played with the Blues.
Yeah. And like Connor McDavid just won it a couple years ago for when on a losing team.
Yeah.
2 Norris trophies. I saw a lot of him on TV, and I lived near the Caps growing up when the Caps first started.
Right.
And you can get $3 cheap seats. And then at the end of the first period, they sort of call everyone down to fill in the lower level. Losing by 5 was a moral victory, but every time the Canadians came, I was able to go.
Right.
So I saw from 76 to 78 before I went to college, or 75 to 78. Every time the Canadians came through, I saw him. And he was wonderful. And what I remember the most about him was in the 76 Stanley Cup against the Flyers.
Right.
One of the things, Broad Street bullies, they sort of own that intimidation fact. And Larry Robinson went out there and drilled a forward named Gary Dornhofer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And knocked the plastic board out. I mean, just came off. They had to stop the game for about 20 minutes to fix it.
Right.
And that just changed the whole dynamic of the game. And the announcer, I saw a quote from the announcer. It was the hardest check I've ever seen.
Yep.
That's what the announcer said.
And he also beat the living stuffings out of Dave Schultz in a fight.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Clark Gillies, who was one of the toughest guys you will ever ever see.
Yeah. So,
Larry Robinson was no joke.
yeah, and I mean the funny thing is he played on the same defensive line with Serge Savard, another Hall of Famer.
Yeah, wow, what a team.
So Larry Robinson is my my number one. Again, I put Orr and Gretzky sort of off in, up on a mountain as an oracle.
Yeah.
But Larry Robinson was, I just loved watching him play. And he was a good skater, and he would attack. And he made the comment that he really appreciated having Serge Savard on the line because it enabled him to go forward and attack and not worry about someone who got past him because Serge was there.
Right.
So that's my first defenseman. Second defenseman, you would think I would go Serge Savard.
Right.
I think I just need to get out of my Canadian bias. I was also thinking Guy Lapointe, who was another Canadian,
Right.
who I looked up, and he also just had a slap shot that was
Yes,
just
he
a
did.
blistering slap shot. He's also looks like Keith Moon. And so I was going to say he wins the award for maybe the most unattractive man in hockey, which is saying something. But I'm looking at sort of who the second person would be. I'm going Chris Chelios.
Oh, okay, that's a good choice.
I just always enjoyed him watching him play.
Yeah.
He was a tough guy.
Yes, he was.
A very tough guy. Only 6 feet 191, but he played bigger than that.
Yeah.
And he had a plus 351 in the regular season, plus minus. He had 948 points in 1,600 games. He got 3 cups, 3 Norrises, and the one quote I saw is he's considered the godfather of USA hockey.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I got to put Chris Chelios up there, and I had that tough choice. With leaving some people off.
Yeah, no, I can appreciate
So let me go now to center, and again, I will leave off Gretzky because he's the GOAT.
Right.
I had a really tough time with center after him, and probably because 2 of them are on Pittsburgh Penguins.
Ooh,
and
painful.
I'm
painful.
not a Penguins fan, but I have to appreciate the 2, Mary Lemieux and Sidney Crosby. And
Right.
I'm going to put Sidney Crosby.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of hit games he played.
Yeah.
He has been the foil in the Capital side for years.
In a lot of team side.
Yeah, in a lot of teams' side.
Flyers too.
But he just makes plays.
Yep.
Great teammate. He's unselfish out there. He'll do the little things to get the job done, but just a beautiful player to watch if you take away the fact he's wearing a Pittsburgh jersey.
Yeah, and he's got a heck of a slash. Didn't he take that guy's thumb off that day?
and apologies to any listeners who are either Philly or Pittsburgh fans. I respect both teams. I respect both cities. It's just that you have foiled a lot of the teams that I like. So it's love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I can appreciate
but
that.
He had 2 Richard awards for the most goals, 2 Smythes, 3 cups. So 2 out of the 3 Stanley Cup suits, and he won the most valuable player. 2 Art Ross awards, and at age 19, he was named captain of that team.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And coming out of the Maritime Provinces, he's a Nova Scotia kid.
Yeah.
And you don't see that too much in the end. McGinnis, Al McGinnis, I believe, is from, I want to say he was from the Maritime Provinces too.
Right wing was also just very, very difficult. A lot of love and respect out there for Jaromir Jagr, but I have to pull it. I'm wrestling with this. I have wrestled with this. I want to say Guy Lafleur. I'm going Guy Lafleur because I love the flower.
Yeah, of course.
The flowing hair, taking it from his own blue line and weaving through traffic. Right. I mean, just a beautiful skater.
Right.
Not a big fighter.
No.
But that's what Larry Robinson and Serge Savard were there for.
That's correct.
Sort of like Gretzky.
He had Semenko, yeah.
But, he was just a wonderful, wonderful player. Came in the league highly rated. His first couple years, he sort of underperformed and got a lot of criticism from the Montreal press, and then just came on like gangbusters during that 75 to 79 time. Just a couple of stats, plus 446 overall. He 1,126 games played regular season, 560 goals, 793 assists.
Unbelievable.
5 Cups, 3 Art Ross, a Conn Smythe, 2 Harts, and 3 Ted Lindsays. But also 50 goals, 6 seasons. First player to ever get 50 goals and 100 points in 6 consecutive seasons.
Yeah.
So,
And I assure any young fans watching clips on social media, he did not skate slow.
yes. Yeah. And I've seen him live, and
many times I saw him.
I mean, he looks like, for a modern player, he looks like Connor Bedard to me, the way, because Connor Bedard's a little slighter of a player.
Yeah.
And I saw Connor
So is
Bedard.
Jack Hughes.
Yeah. But I saw Connor Bedard when I was up in Chicago earlier this year, rush from his end and weaving through the players, and I just had a flashback. That was Guy Lafleur.
And stealing a smoke up the runway on the way to the locker room, right?
And unfortunately, that came back to get him.
But I think the hair flowing behind him made it seem like he was like a jetliner or something.
It did. It really did. He's a wonderful skater to watch. Left wing, I know that I wrestled with this, but I've got to go with Alex Ovechkin.
Okay.
He is, I'm a Caps fan. I grew up in D.C. Not the best defensive player, and that shows in his plus minus, which is plus minus for this career is only plus 56.
I don't think he knows what defense is.
He can. I've seen him, and the year they won the Cup,
yeah,
that was where I saw him play dirty boards more than any other time in his career.
And actually back check somebody?
Yeah, he actually back checked someone. He got into the corners. He dove for the pucks.
Right.
Threw his body in front of some shots.
Right. He's a big guy.
He's a huge guy, 6'3", 238.
Yeah, he's like a fire hydrant.
Yeah, he looks like Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, he's a monster, yeah.
But just scoring machine. And I know he has a lot of open nets, and that's one of the knocks on him. But he also, from his office, everyone knows it's coming, and they still can't stop it.
Yeah. And I'll have a comment on that when I get to my second team.
Okay. 9 Richard goal scoring awards.
Right.
His Conn Smythe, 3 Harts, 3 Ted Lindsays. Calder Award for Rookie of the Year. I love him, and he has that enthusiasm. Still 20 years later, he still is like a kid out there.
Yeah, and
I really love that. And for one critique of maybe he doesn't play defenses as much as a lot of other players. Tough guy. I saw there's a famous clip of him on the bench. A puck hits him in his mouth.
I've seen that.
He spits the tooth out and jumps the board and gets in the game.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
that is the definition of a hockey player.
This guy gets light beer delivered to him for his press conferences. How can you not love the guy? I like it.
He took the Stanley Cup in Vegas. He took it through a lobby of one of the hotels, and there was a big fountain, and he got in the fountain.
That's fantastic. And I think when it's said and done, maybe this is the last year, I don't know, but when it's said and done, I think you'll see him be a unanimous selection to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
There aren't many. There's people who actually voted against, like Terry Sawchuk or something.
Kidding?
Yeah. Gretzky's a unanimous, but I believe you'll see Ovechkin be a unanimous.
So, goalie. This is near and dear to my heart because I've seen some fantastic goalies out there, and I wrestled, and I am going Patrick Waugh.
Okay.
As I
kind of thought you would.
Yeah, Kenny Dryden is up there for me. Kenny Dryden he only played 8 seasons, had 6 cups.
Right.
Including 5 Vezinas.
Yeah, and a 2.12 goals against.
Just a 922 save percentage in the regular season.
If you look at, and I think I talked about this in my goalie selection podcast. If you look purely at stats, he's the greatest goaltender of all time.
And took a year off because he was mad about his contract to get his legal law
degree. He just happened to study for law school in between playing goal. And make it to politics and all the things he achieved in his life. Amazing goalie.
I love, but Patrick Waugh, I picked him for a couple reasons. One is just so much fun to watch.
Absolutely.
He was out of control on the ice. He was a frustrated winger.
Yeah.
He wanted to rush the puck. He was a great skater. He could get over into the
No question about it.
Go all the way into the corner.
No question about it.
And he was a flopper. And I know that is not your
He
style.
flopped when he needed.
He flopped a lot.
He flopped a lot, no question.
But what I love about him is he carried the two Canadian teams that he took that he was on with the Stanley Cup. Those were not great teams. They were good teams, but they weren't great teams.
Right.
He made them great for that 20 game stretch.
Right.
And I remember watching, it was funny. I was dating my now wife. I was dating her. She was in law school. I had just finished law school and I was clerking for a judge. And I'd go over and we'd see her and I'd be there. And about 11 o'clock at night, I'd say, well, I got to go home. And she's like, well, why don't you just stay here? I'm like, because at that point in time, ESPN would replay Stanley Cup games, not the Cup finals. They showed those in real time, but the all the playoff games, they would replay them from midnight till 3 a.m. And I said, I got to go see Montreal play.
Absolutely.
And I would go home and stay up till 3 a.m. watching this kid. He was a 19-year-old kid play goal and just snatching pucks from that should by all rights be a goal. And he would be on his back snatching pucks. Yeah. There's a great photo of him on Sports Illustrated's cover of laying on his back with his glove up in the air.
I've seen that clip,
catching the puck. Mm-hmm. It's just the only thing blocking the goal is his arm and his glove.
Yeah, and I loved being a goalie myself. We're all weird. We're all eccentric. We do eccentric things. I love his antics, tapping the stick and shaking the head and all these things that went along with Roy. But you touched upon it, and I'm still resisting the rant. Modern goalies learn to skate. Will you please stand up on your skates and learn to skate? Watch Eddie Jockman. Bernie Parent was a very underrated skater. But Roy, he skated all the way down to beat the heck out of the fight that Detroit Red Wing goal.
Oh my God, I
think he lost that fight though.
Yeah, but it was so funny as you saw the two goalies lumbering towards each other like marshmallow men.
And he looked like Guy Lafleur. He got down there so fast.
But you mentioned one thing when we were getting ready for this about playing big in big games.
Yeah.
In the '93 playoffs where they won the cup for the second for the Canadiens. 10 overtime game winners.
Correct.
He played his first cup, Game 7 overtime winner.
Yes.
This is when he was 19. He was 23, 18, and 3 ties with an 871 save percentage. Right. Playoffs, 15-5, 923.
Yeah, he's a big-time goalie.
Big-time goalie.
And he won cups with Montreal
and 2 with Colorado.
2 with Colorado.
And again, if you've never seen him play, you watch some of these modern goalies, they're just automatrons in there in some ways.
Right.
He was just all over the place. Lovely to watch him play.
The thing, and I'll get to my second team real quick, and then you can mention your alternates. Yeah. But the thing about Roy and Bernie Parent, to shut out the Boston Bruins 1-0. Hodge, Esposito, Bobby Orr, Johnny Busick. My gosh. The Flyers' first expansion team to win the cup. Yeah. So, make the big save, the big slap shot with 3 minutes left to go. You're protecting a 1-goal lead. These are big-time goalies. And that's my knock on Dominik Hasek. He let in soft goals at times. But at any rate, Roy attacked the shooter. He never backed down from a shooter. And that's where Bernie Parent got coached by Jacques Plante, because Jacques Plante said, you're backing into your net and you're not attacking. You're being too far and come out and challenge those shooters. So, all right.
Okay.
I'm going to go with my second team.
I'll
buzz through because there's a lot of dupes.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of dupes here. So on left defense is Larry Robinson.
Okay.
He's my second team left defense. We talked about the great Larry Robinson. At right defense, once more, it's hard to find a right defense, right shooter. I want to do that. It's Larry Murphy. And Larry Murphy,
wow,
the steady Eddie. Larry Murphy. I put Larry Murphy on here for one reason. He was the steady Eddie guy you want on the power play who always kept the puck in the zone.
Yeah.
He was like a goalie on the blue line.
Yeah.
He kept the play alive. Played for your team, the Caps. He played for the Wings. He played all over Los Angeles Kings. Hockey Hall of Fame, over 20 years. I think he retired as the fourth leading defensive scorer, but he never won a Norris Trophy. When he played at Pittsburgh, he had the Pittsburgh dump. He was an expert. And I played with a guy, Johnny the Cho, we called him. And Johnny had this ability to pick the puck up when we were in danger and the team was attacking and lift it like he was throwing a pass over into the other zone, like a lob. And Larry Murphy was an expert at that. He was just, for me as a goalie, I want Larry Murphy in front of me as a defenseman. And I want him on the power play.
It doesn't give him a chance to keep it in.
This guy was steady, Eddie, amazing. So that's a little surprise, but that's my second team. Bobby Clark's my center.
I'm surprised that wasn't your first.
Yeah, I mean, well, just because of Gretzky, but relentless. Young hockey players, watch clips. This gentleman was a full-blown diabetic with energy, Flin Flon, Manitoba. His forechecking was destructive, relentless. And of course, this is all-time hockey. You can't do the things that Clarkie did. He would slash you and attack your forearms just above your gloves and just pursue you.
Ankles.
Go for the ankles relentlessly, like a bee in the house.
I was going to say, to me, he's like a swarm of bees.
Like a swarm of bees. The energy this man had. And that's something that's lacking. Center icemen need to come back and play defense. You got to come back to the lower slot. I don't know how many clips there are of Bernie Perrant talking to Bobby Clark, because Bobby Clark came back and back-checked, and he was involved in the defensive play as well as forechecked.
He's hanging out in the crease.
Yeah, and the guy was just a ball of energy. An unbelievable hockey player, and to think he had diabetes, just unbelievable.
He got into people's heads like Brad Marchand is a minor leaguer compared to Bobby Clark, getting in people's heads.
Yeah, and I always say to my cousin that we listen to Nottingham Forest in soccer, in football, Premier League, and they have a center that plays midfield. He's our captain, Ryan Yates, and I always say Ryan Yates is the Bobby Clark of the Premier League. He just annoys everybody. He's just all over the place doing, and he gets a yellow card like within 5 minutes. So my right wing had a hard time leaving Yager off, had a hard time leaving Mike Bossy off for obvious reasons, but it's Guy Lafleur too.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to go with Guy Lafleur.
I'll pick up the other on mine.
I had to go with Guy Lafleur. On left wing is Frank Mahovlich.
Ooh. Love the Mahovlich brothers.
Oh my gosh, what a hockey player. And once more, that's a guy who lost 4 years to the WHA, but he had 533 goals, 6 Stanley Cup players. He was on 6 Stanley Cup teams. The ultimate left wing powerhouse, strong. He was about 6'1", about 200, maybe a little bit more. What an amazing hockey player.
Yeah.
And I think he's the best Toronto Maple Leaf. Loved Borja Salming, loved Daryl Sittler, and they shared the number 27. But Frank Mahovlich is my left wing, and my goalie is Patrick Roy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So there you go. Go ahead, Frank.
So, sort of rounding out defensemen, I'm going to have to go Serge Savard, who I've talked a little bit about. He was a true wall in front of Dryden.
No question. Great skater, too.
Great skater, and just, he, like I said, Larry Robinson said, I didn't have to worry because Serge had my back the whole time.
Yep.
And Serge had early injuries in his career that affected him being able to really move and go play up, and so he played back by a conscious choice.
Right.
But he always was in position. He knew how to get the angles on people. Loved watching him. The other one is I'm wrestling Dennis Potvin.
Oh yeah, there's no question.
The Islanders, if as much as I love Montreal and their force, and people talk about Edmonton, people forget about that 4 years of the Islanders.
No question. It's never mentioned.
They
mention other sports, the Yankees, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the 49ers, all these teams, that the Patriots winning back. No one ever mentions the New York Islanders.
No one ever mentions it. And they
and they almost won 5.
They and who'd they lose to? Edmonton.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So
How many Hall of Famers?
7 or 8.
7 or 8, right?
The Montreal Canadiens team had 10 Hall of Famers. They had 7.
Yeah.
And they're just underknown. I mean, there wasn't a lot of flash.
Nope.
It was workmanlike, and it was, I mean, the person people remember, Billy Smith, the goalie, because he was the most obstinate, ornery person in the history of
Battling
hockey.
Billy.
Battling Billy.
Yeah.
And what was funny about him, when I researched Battling Billy, his backup, the other goalie, Chico Resch, the most likable guy in the world.
North and South personalities, right?
It's so funny. And
Yeah.
Chico Resch, very underrated goalie.
Yeah, he went to the Devils and really
Yeah.
he's still on color for a radio.
Plus,
for the,
great name.
oh,
Come
yeah,
on.
it's great. Glenn
Chico
Chico
Resch.
Resch. He's a prairie boy too, but yeah,
Sure.
I agree with you. And the Islanders never get the credit. Potvin, of course, they still do the organ thing at Madison Square Garden, where they play the organ and it's Potvin sucks. They still do that. He hasn't played in 25 years, 30 years.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, he was hated at Madison Square Garden, but a marvelous hockey team. Maybe Al Arbor is next to Scotty Bowman.
He and Scotty Bowman,
the
to
best,
me, are
yeah.
2 of the 4 on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
coaches.
I agree. You got to put Freddie DeFog there just because he was so cool.
Switching to go to center, I think I got to go Mark Messier.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
nothing wrong with that.
Long career, steady career, tough guy.
Right.
Carried the Rangers when he was with them. He carried that team.
Oh, you mean the Edmonton Oilers second phase?
Yes. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
No, I love it.
But and quite honestly, a great announcer on hockey.
He is, and he has to hold up the other ding dongs on the broadcast.
Yeah,
too, so he's great.
I like. Oh, what's the
Subban?
Yeah, Subban.
He's just fun.
Subban's goofy.
Yeah, he's just fun.
But he's fun.
Yeah.
But Messier, 6 cups. 4 with Edmonton and 2 I think with the Rangers. Or
1 with the Rangers.
Rangers,
yeah.
and what was the last one? I forget who the last one was.
Oh gosh, I have to look it up.
I forget. I should have had that. But he also got a Conn Smythe, 2 Harts, 2 Lindsays. Just an incredible player. Rock solid. I mean, if you're saying I need to build a team,
yeah,
you throw him in the center and you don't worry about it for 10 years.
Correct. Very powerful guy.
Yeah. Left wing. I wrestled with. I didn't see a lot of Bobby Hull.
Right.
But in looking him up, blown away by the stats.
It's unbelievable.
Just incredible.
He had a waist was like 30-inch waist and a beer barrel chest.
Small guy, 5'10", 190.
Powerful.
Yeah, but really he played from 57 to 72.
Yeah.
And then he came back 79 to 80 to play with his sons.
Yeah. And he played in the WHA in between.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. The endurance of but the modern athlete, so much better. Glenn Hall, 502 consecutive NHL games in net.
Oh, that was amazing when you pointed it out to me when he died.
I mean, if you include playoffs.
Stunning.
550. I mean, you would get a head cold. You get the flu. You're hung over. Some game you can't make. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Well, and then quickly, right wing, I wrestled between Jaromir Jagr and Mike Bossy. Jaromir Jagr, one best mullet in hockey.
Yes.
and you got to appreciate the longevity and the consistency and the amazing play that he had. But I'm going Mike Bossy. And I
can understand.
Mike Bossy played for that Islanders team. Short career.
Right.
Only 10 seasons. He only played 752 games in the regular season. 752 games, 573 goals, 553 assists.
That's incredible.
It's stunning. He had 9 seasons of 50-plus goals.
Right.
9 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I think...
if he had 7 more years,
right,
we wouldn't be talking about Ovechkin.
No. And Bossy had lower back issues.
Yeah, and it affected him. But I was just had no appreciation for. I mean, I knew him. I knew that, but again, he sort of blends into the woodwork,
right?
With that, as a lot of those Islander players did.
Yeah,
and I was I was stunned when I saw that level of production.
Yeah.
They said that he was just he was just a scoring machine,
A pure sniper.
yeah, pure sniper. And then last but not least, goalies. I wrestled with this one.
It's not easy.
No, it's not. And I wanted to put Billy Smith on there,
Right.
but I got to go to Ken Dryden.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Kenny D. Just again, I've already talked about him.
Yeah.
Only 8 seasons, 6 cups, a stunning save percentage, a 922 save percentage, 2.24 goals against.
Yeah, there is no question. Like I said, stat wise, he's probably the greatest goalie of all time.
Just unbelievable.
And a big guy. Another very good skater, too. All the Canadians were. I had this conversation during the Olympics with my cousin Dave, and he said, do you think this is the greatest assembly of talent when they were playing Canada versus USA?
Yeah.
And I said, I can think, I want to say that the 1970s Canadians would beat these teams. I truly believe that, especially if you gave Kenny Dryden modern-sized goalie equipment. I don't think they understand how great those teams were and the speed. And then when you finally the depth, and when you finally break through, if you get a shot on goal, you got to deal with one of the greatest goalies of all time. So I just a force like Larry Robinson is not seen in hockey now. There's no player that can do that.
He was like he was if you compare him to football, a Dick Butkus out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just changed the game.
Yeah.
The other one I got to tell you, looking at, and this is underappreciated, was Steve Shutt.
Yes, Steve Shutt. Yeah.
I forget. I'm trying to find my notes here. I had to fill that in. Here it is. Steve Shutt played for the Montreal, but just only played 930 games. Had 424 goals. And
That's not bad.
And a plus 394 level. And he was like the fourth person, out there.
Right.
He was like the fourth best star on the offense.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, right? I read something, Joe Garagiola, the great baseball catcher and announcer, said, usually when you make it to the major leagues, you're like best player on your high school team, best player in your town, best player in your state, something like that, best catcher. He played catcher. He said, I wasn't even the best catcher on my street because Yogi Berra lived across the street from me. So there you go. I love your stuff. I want to go back real quick to why I didn't put Ovechkin on.
Okay.
Not only because of the open net goals, which I talked about before, but also the defensive stuff. And maybe we got to talk hockey, modern hockey versus old hockey. The elimination of the red line is a huge, huge thing in hockey because they did it to speed up the game. The Devils had the trap and all that stuff and open it up. I don't believe a player like Ovechkin would have his office set up if they had the 2-line pass.
Okay.
Because the neutral ice strategy, as a goalie, I suffered through all these offensive strategy because I had to stand there being the dummy in the net and listen to the coaches tell you how to break out of your zone. That's why Larry Murphy's on my list because of his ability to do that. Ovechkin he wouldn't be able to get across the blue line and get set up in his office if he had to wait for the 2-line pass.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just break down that wing and he's right there in his office and he can unleash that shot. If the red line was still in play, it would change his. Yeah. And I looked it up and I think he came in right when they eliminated the red line.
He came in 2004.
Okay, so you'd have to look it up. Yeah. But that changed hockey strategy. So that's why, those are the reasons I left Ovechkin off. But obviously a great hockey player. But these are the teams, these are the guys that I would go to war with. Yeah. So that's it.
Modern player that I considered putting on this list, Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid. I also wrestled with your guy, Rod Langway.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to put Rod Langway on there, but he was a right-handed shot. And
very low offensive production.
He did, and he couldn't skate too fast.
Couldn't skate.
But he was, now there's a USA guy, Randolph, Massachusetts.
Tough guy.
And I also wrestled with Brent Burns.
Oh.
Yeah. Brent Burns is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, a big dude too. So there we go. So thank you so much, Frank. It's just fantastic stuff.
Love if anyone hears this, comments on that or people we've left off that you think we omitted.
Oh, I think a lot of people have. Sure. I think we're going to get slammed because
there's another 20 players I could have.
There are. And I resisted the rant, but I do have to mention one thing. Goalies, stand up on your skates. But I was watching the hockey on the Olympics, and Jeremy, is it Swayman, the backup to Hellebuck? He was in for one game, and I think it was a lower level team like the Netherlands or something. Doggone, this guy is on his pads, laying there in the crease when the player is going for a line change across the center red line, and the guy dumps the puck. He makes a shot on that. And this goalie, Jeremy's down so low. What are you already on the ice? Why are you flopped? And the puck blended in with the flat black that they painted the boards, and he just couldn't see it.
Are you kidding?
No, it went right in the net.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, but if he had been standing up, he just would have gloved the goal, the puck, and just, held it for whatever.
Or
it's
dropped
just,
down and done a
come on, stand up. Anyway, that's a rant for another day. I had to get a little rant.
And Gretzky. Gretzky talks about that a lot.
So I loved it. Thank you so much, Frank, for coming on. We'll talk old-time hockey versus new hockey next time. Next podcast episode, we have Jeff, the musical wizard, coming. We're going to pick the 5 best studio prog rock albums of all time. So there you go.
Very good.
I want to get you and Jeff, the musical encyclopedia, Frankie T versus Jeff, on the podcast. So this is fantastic stuff, and we really appreciate it. Thank you, Frank. So, hey, please be kind, be gentle, be very tolerant. Remember, kindness is for free. Spread it around as much as you can. It can only make this world a better place. But hey, what do I know about hockey? I'm just a guy from Paterson, New Jersey. And Frank, you are from?
Hillcrest Heights, Maryland.
Hillcrest Heights, Maryland. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on board.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.